Good morning, on what is a mild, grey and cloudy day. It is Tuesday, the August 29th, and I've got a nice hot cup of tea. And a box to continue unboxing. And what I've got in here is essentially a sheaf of supplements for Over the Edge. So I've done unboxings of New Faces and Whether the Cuckoo Likes. And the next supplement I have is House Call, an adventure resource for Over the Edge. Now, Over the Edge is a role-playing game published by Alex Games in 1992 and is set on the island of Al Amarja in the Mediterranean, unacknowledged by every other government, but everyone knows it's there, and it's there where you will find the results of every conspiracy theory, weird science, alchemical process, and radical medical procedure, because there's no need to get essentially permission to carry out any of that. And it's rife with anarchists and not lawlessness, but essentially almost a free-for-all in terms of criminality and conduct. Although essentially the authorities will stamp down if something becomes too much. And essentially, typically you turn up as a tourist and explore the weirdness of this island and its multiple factions. House Call by Dustin Browder. Come to the house, we need you, is all the dead man said. For the third time in a week that I'd gotten that message from a fresh corpse. But whose house and why me? Reward, find my zombie. The house, and you thought Al Amarja was weird. Try the house, it can be added to any series of game world, or any game world at any time. Inhabitants and invaders, enemies, allies and factions, including the creepiest GMCs or Game Master characters. Yet, can you tell friend from foe when none of them are human? Dead woman speaks, had little to say, says hubby. A plot designed to slip the house into your series, interweave it with your own plots to create a complex and frightening story. Over the Edge, adventure resource includes strangeness, expect the unexpected. New ideas, more weird traits, fringe science, and disturbing characters to add to your series. Flexibility, twist and shape the adventure to suit your tastes and the needs of your series. So we open up, we have contents page, an introduction, essentially House Call describes a pocket universe called the House. The House could be easily incorporated into any Over the Edge series, provide hours of confusion and terror. Give add to any adventure or situation about any time you like. First part details the pocket dimension, what it looks like, how it feels, and what goes on there. It also discusses the methods of entering the house and how to get out if you happen to get stuck inside. And the second part talks about the various cults, organisations, and conspiracy interests in the house, or who wish to see it destroyed. And it says that this extreme weirdness is probably better left to more experienced PCs who have seen a lot of the more mundane stuff and are wishing to something serious. Or many organisations, on the other hand, are simple enough to be involved with burger PCs, or essentially beginning for player characters. So, we have a description of the house, its entrances and exits, and its alien oddities. Astral Barometer, Atlas of the Worlds, Movies Lexicon, Hadja Helmet, useless items, and the Sentinels, and traits, their traits, and so on, and essentially those things can all be found in the house. Then we would essentially another way to enter the house is to catch a cab, the corner of Dubain Avenue and Victory Highway, essentially get the right cab with the right cabbie, and he will drive you there. And of course, you could just enter via the back door if you find the house itself. So, exploiting the house's entrance and how it looks, we've got a description of the house and how it works and how it changes. So, this is going to be sort of like a mutable, constantly changing, with weirdness going on. Then we move on to inhabitants and invaders. So, you know, we've got the Chosen. They're the inhabitants of the house. They live there and ruled by a great being called Island of Al Amarja. And there are multiple creatures that, and then we've got examples of those basically GMCs or Game Master characters, basic descriptions, languages, and their traits. And the thing is, essentially, that looks like a lot of information. Really, it's describing what they can do. So, for example, bestial fighter, survival, emotion drain, and so on. Those are traits that are really quite simply detailed. And then the Ravagers, evil creatures of the night, formerly in the Nazi ranks. So they're caught up in the house as well. And other GMCs include Frank Muller, Bug Thug, Carla Funga, Ravager Fungal Colony, and other Ravagers. And then House Call is essentially how to set up, how to use the house in play, how, essentially sort of like a scenario ready to play there, to pull the characters in and get them involved. So we've got discussion of how to set up, the real story, and then the development from that. And then once inside, what happens, and we come to the conclusion. So this really provides a quick, sort of like a précis, it's sort of like what the adventure or scenario looks like. And we have a possible introduction, how to get the player characters involved, and what they find inside the Ravages and the machine, and then discussion of the house and the role that it can play in your game. So, and then last of all, we have the intersections. The intersections essentially it covers the essentially the points where the house can be connected or crosses over into the conspiracies of other factions. So, you know, let's have a look. Imagine the house version is a mental institution. That's covered in Welcome to the Sylvan Pines, or the excavations of Ravagers have uncovered the ruins of Agaris. Player characters expecting vile Ravagers might accidentally slaughter a few peaceful Agaras, and that's covered in the supplement New Faces. So there's sort of like, you know, guidance in there on how to connect it up to the other scenarios for Over the Edge. Now, Over the Edge has of course been recently reprinted or redesigned in an even simpler format. So with some of it, you could adjust to fit this into that setting. As you know, the weirdness still carries on from one version of Al Amarja into the next. So yeah, that's the house called an adventure resource for Over the Edge, published by Atlas Games. Let's have a look. So we'll find a date. Mm, 1993. So yeah. Oh well. Anyway, so. I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game, or in this case, a resource or scenario set up for Over the Edge, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so. All, of course, accompanied by a nice little cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. I'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.